I'm thinking I'm getting drafted the next day. Don't get drafted. I had a huge draft party, everything, bro. Like, I literally, yes, bro. Yes, Scott. I had a draft party. I had family at the house, friends, food. We got a TV set up. Picks coming in, 67, 68, 69, 70. Third round come, nothing. And, bro, I ain't gonna lie. That was a hard moment.
Bryant,
What's up, baby?
4-year, 5-year NFL vet. How many did you get?
6.
6 years.
Yeah.
My bad. Don't.
Nah,
every year counts.
Every year counts.
Comes from Thomasville, Georgia. Rolls into beginning of the Clemson dynasty. Maybe establishes it with a couple other guys,
I had a hand in it for sure.
and then pivots to Nashville and now doing real estate. So thanks for coming on. What was it like playing football and basketball in Thomasville, Georgia? Did you know, like, I'm going D1 one day, I'm going to play in the NFL? What were you dreaming about?
Yeah, great question. First of all, man, appreciate you having me. Blessed to be here.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, I always had an affinity for sports. Always had an affinity for competition. I was one of the youngest of my grandparents' grandchildren. So, like, weekends, summers at grandma's house was I was kind of like the runt. So to see what I've grown into now, the things that I've done in sports, football, basketball, whatever the case may be, it's been fun. It's been fun to, like, see roles reverse. It's like, man, I started off as the runt, but now I look back, I'm like, man, that helped me so much going forward as far as competition goes. So, yeah, man, I've always had a dream of playing college football. I really didn't know what pro football would look like at that time, but, man, I loved everything about football, basketball when I was young. So
When did you know in high school you're like, all right, I'm good enough to go D1?
man, to be honest, I didn't really know until my sophomore year, because a lot of people don't know this. I started off as a quarterback. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I get that look a lot, like middle school, quarterback, freshman year, quarterback. And just so happened at my high school, we ran the option attack. And we had a quarterback, Adam Choice, who was a phenomenal athlete. He was just a year older than me. So I wasn't going to see the field until I was a senior, because he was phenomenal, bro. One of the best players I ever seen play live. Like, that type of guy in high school. And I actually played with him at Clemson later on in my career, but we'll get to that later. And my high school coach, bro, he approached me. He was like, hey, Adam's a year ahead of you. You're not going to play until the senior, but we want you on the field because we know you're a great athlete. We know you're a tough football player. What do you think about playing outside linebacker? I'm like, is he going to get me on the field? Am I going to play on Friday night? He's like, yeah, you're going to be out there. You got to prove it in practice. You got to let us see what you got, but we want to have you out there. So, man, long story short, I tore it up at outside linebacker, and the rest was history. Got my first offer from Florida State the offseason after my sophomore year. And, man, after that, things just start speeding up.
Who called first, Dabo or Coach Saban?
Ooh. Actually, it was Coach Fisher from Florida State. My first offer right after my sophomore season. And then if we talking between Clemson and Alabama, Dabo called first.
And then once Dabo called, were you like, Jimbo, no chance, I found my guy? Like, when did you decide, okay, Clemson is the spot?
I wish I could say that was the case, but, man, it actually took a little while. I knew I liked Clemson, but, man, Florida State is right in our backyard where I'm from. And we had a Heisman Trophy winner that went to my high school, Charlie Ward Jr. went to my high school, yeah. So big Florida State country, big Georgia Bulldog country. Not a whole lot of Clemson where I'm from. But, man, when Clemson extended the offer, this was during the time where Clemson was ascending. So they weren't quite the team yet, but you could see something was building. And so I think I actually played my junior year out, and I ended up committing to Clemson the end of my junior year offseason. So going into my senior year of high school, I was committed to Clemson already.
Did Charlie Ward call and say, hey, man, come on?
Unfortunately, no, he didn't.
should have.
He should have. That might have did something. I ain't gonna lie. We love Charlie Ward where we from. Like he the man. He the man.
I mean, pro basketball player, and did he play pro football?
He didn't. He could have.
Yeah.
He could have. That's crazy in itself to go from winning a Heisman Trophy to then just being the first pick in a first round pick in the NBA draft. What? That's unheard of, bro.
I mean, playing quarterback and going to the outside linebacker, that's a big jump too.
It was a crazy jump.
Crazy jump. So when you committed, they're ascending.
Yeah.
And then you walk into the locker room with what becomes the best defensive line to ever play at Clemson.
Yeah.
Tell us the guys. You got Dexter Lawrence,
Christian Wilkins, Cleveland Ferrell, myself. Man, we had rotational guys who were phenomenal. Albert Huggins, Richard Jurgen, Chris Register. Man, we had so many guys. Like,
did you know when you walk into that locker room as a freshman, like, this is going to be something to behold, like this collection of guys? It's rare.
Man, to be honest with you, we could feel it during the recruiting process. Even just meeting Christian, meeting Cleveland at recruiting events in the summer leading up to us getting to Clemson, we had an unusual bond already that was really unlike anything that I had experienced. We were raised in similar situations. We had similar values, similar work ethics. So it just fit because the most important thing to those guys at that time was football. And it was the most important thing for us. And then when we got to school, like, it was easy because, like, we love ball. So, man, it was a joy. It really was a joy to play with them guys. And, like, from the first year, and I'll be the first to say it, not everybody had a smooth sailing our first year we got there. Like, I ended up playing, but I didn't play a lot. I got hurt. Cleveland redshirted. Dex wasn't there yet. Christian was one of the ones who had played his entire freshman year, really, and really was starting by the end of his freshman year season. So, but man, that second year, I ended up actually getting hurt. Christian ended up playing in. Cleveland was playing great. And then really towards the end of my sophomore year and then my junior year on, that's when all of us really came that cohesive bond, because by that time, Christian was rolling, Clee was rolling, Dex had just came in, I was rolling, had a good end of my freshman year. So, man, it was just fun, like, just being there with them guys. Like, they love ball, we was winning. We had great quarterback play, great offensive play.
When did you have a moment where you're like, oh, we can actually beat Bama one day?
Yeah. Well, I say it like this. Bama had been the standard.
Right.
Because the year we came in, Clemson had just, if I'm remembering correctly, Clemson had just won the Russell Athletic Bowl. So we hadn't quite been in the big show yet. And Alabama was running the table. So when we got there, we knew, like, hey, Bama right now, they really the standard. Like, if we want to win a national championship, we're going to have to go through Alabama at some point, like, because that's what they are. So that was just, and it was never like we was working to be like them. We wanted to exceed them, and we wanted to do it our own way. Like, you can see the two opposing characteristics of a Dabo, of a Nick Saban. So we said, hey, we going to be on that level, but let's do it our way. Let's do it how Clemson wants to do it. We don't have to do it how Bama's doing it. So that was kind of where we was at.
But when did you decide, like, all right, we're good enough, like, we're going to beat them, like, we're going to take that top spot?
I can speak for, I think this would be a good visual. So my senior year, when we played them in the Bay Area for the national championship, we had national championship practice that whole week at Clemson prior to the week leading up to the game. And I can remember walking off the field, the last practice we had there, before we was getting ready to get on a plane and go out to San Francisco for the game. As I turned to one of my position mates, Richard Jurgen, and we looked at each other, we was like, you know what? I don't think it's going to be close. And that was 2 weeks before the game. But it was just based off how we had been practicing, how much we care for one another, the chemistry that we had, it was just unusual. Like it was no egos involved. Like everybody was serving one another. Like the leadership and accountability was second to none. Like, and then we went out there and yeah, the jokes write themselves. Sorry, Alabama fans.
I went to Alabama. That's why.
Yikes.
So outside of Clemson, people probably don't know this. You guys called yourselves the Power Rangers, or what's the backstory on that?
Man, so just having fun as a college kid, right? I think it was kind of Christian's idea. He initiated it, but all of us had watched Power Rangers growing up. Like, who doesn't? What 90s kid hadn't watched Power Rangers? And man, he thought it would be a cool thing if we kind of embraced like this alter ego, if you have it. And man, I can remember there was one Halloween where everybody had on suits, and we showed up to Coach Venable's door on Halloween night. I think we was looking for one of his younger sons, like just messing with him. And there's a picture online somewhere. I'm sure somebody can find it, but that's kind of how it started, and we just kind of ran with it. Like, it was fun. It was marketable at the time, which we wasn't really thinking about that. It was more like, man, we a unit. We got this celebration, this morphin' time. It was just fun, bro. Like, literally college kids having fun doing what they was doing. And that's really the main gist of it. And it is stuck, and it's still, here we are today. And 10 years later, and we still talking.
You're wearing the red hat. Were you the red?
I was. I was. Tyrannosaurus Rex. You know what the time it is.
Bro, you should have showed up in the suit. That would have been hilarious. You're going to get married walking down the aisle and you're...
I will if she let me.
Oh, my gosh. Don't let him. So your senior year, you got hurt?
Yeah, senior year I got hurt.
You're getting ready. Like, you're thinking you're going to the NFL.
Yeah.
Were any of the guys, were y'all all seniors together, or did somebody go before, like, first of those four?
Christian was a senior. I was a senior. Cleveland was technically a senior, but he redshirted his first year, so he was a redshirt junior. And then Dex was a junior. Yeah, Dex was a junior.
So you're like, junior. We're all going to the NFL.
Oh, yeah. Our last year, we knew for sure. Yeah. Now, the year before junior year, it was some decisions that had to be made. But the last year, we knew, like, hey, this is our going out party.
Yeah, y'all went out strong. I mean, so you get hurt, though, which is not ideal. What happens and what,
Yeah. Man, I hated that happen, but I learned so much. It happened mid-season, playing against Louisville. I was coming around the edge. I think I was in a non-technique outside the tight end. Coming around the edge, I reach out for a tackle. The running back runs through my arm, runs through an arm tackle. As soon as my arm goes back, I feel a pop, but I'm not quite sure what it is. I've never done this, of course. So, I come back to the line the next play, think I'm just going to tough it out. I try to put my hand down on the ground, and it just limp. And then, so, of course, I run out, and after the game, we go in, we do a quick ultrasound so they can see what it looks like. Doesn't look great, but they say, hey, let's get the MRI tomorrow. Get the MRI, torn pec, completely torn, like nothing close to.
You let a Louisville running back do that to you, by the way,
bro. Don't remind
like, come on, bro.
Don't remind me, like Louisville, the Cardinals. Ain't they a basketball school?
Right, they don't even play football.
Right, but yeah, man, they got me. Unfortunately, but hey, I had a decision to make. Because I torn it completely, so it wasn't getting any worse. So, trainers came to me and they was like, hey, these are the options. You can hang it up right now, get surgery, rehab, and be healthy for the combine, pro day, all those things coming up. Or they said, hey, or you can continue to play. We can brace it up, see how it feels, and see if you can stick it out. And selfishly, I could have easily just said, hey, I'm going to hang it up, pack it up, let's take it home, get ready for the draft, But, man, I just had such a strong draw, like, for Clemson, for my teammates, for the guys that I chose to come back and do this with, what we set out to do. I said, man, you know what? Let's just strap it up and let's just see how I go. And so, literally, I remember my senior year, I would barely even practice throughout the week. I wouldn't really practice until it was like Thursday, Friday, when it's very little contact going on. And then I show up on Saturday and play well. It was just crazy, man. And not that I didn't want to practice, I just couldn't. I couldn't use my arm for a good 3, 4, 5 weeks. And man, soon enough it started to scar up, and I was able to kind of manage with it. Played well the rest of the year. Did I maybe hurt myself in the draft a little bit? Maybe, but man, I just felt like I had to finish what I started, and if I had a chance to do that, I was gonna do that.
What was Venables like?
Venables is crazy.
Yeah,
phenomenal coach though. Phenomenal coach. Demands the best out of his players. Like, never seen a coach hold a player to a standard like Coach V, and still able to love them, still able to show them he cares. You know what I'm saying? Like, taught me so much just watching how he prepared for the games, like how intense he was, like how serious he took it. Like, he was phenomenal. And he probably don't know this, but I learned so much just from observing him do his job. Not even so much as what he was telling me to do or coaching me to do. It was just how he was approaching his work. And it was like, man, okay, that's the intensity that it takes to be at the top of your game at whatever you're doing. And good luck trying to hit where he at. Like, he set the mark high.
So the principle from him is like demand excellence, work with, intensity and grit.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing. What was a principle that you learned from Dabo?
So many. There's so many, but I think this one is easy to comprehend because, Clemson's a big school. They're still in the media all the time. It's just how convicted he was about things that he believed. I think people can really tell when you're just saying something because it sounds good versus you're saying something because you truly and you deeply believe it and you live by it. That's something that I'll never forget because it kind of showed me as a young man, it's like, hey, you don't have to do what everybody else is doing or believe what everybody else believes, but what you do believe in, what you do think, man, you better be convicted about it. And he was able to stand in front of young men at that time and have that conviction and to receive them because we could see like, hey, he really mean this. Regardless if we like it or not, like there's a reason, there's something behind it. And I think people can still appreciate that today, especially with the landscape of college football. So I always appreciated that about Dabo.
You so draft, like your guys get drafted all first round?
Yeah.
Then you're the fourth round guy.
Yeah.
What do you feel going into that moment?
Man, first of all, happy for them.
Yeah.
Like, I remember where I was when Cleveland got drafted. I was with my uncle. We were coming back from Moultrie, headed home. We was in the car and we was watching on the phone. And they called Cleveland Farrell's name. I'm turned because I'm like, that's my dog, that's my roommate. So I was so happy for him. But, of course, Dex gets drafted, Christian gets drafted. I'm thinking I'm getting drafted the next day. Don't get drafted. I had a huge draft party, everything, bro. Like, I literally, yes, bro. Yes, Scott. I had a draft party. I had family at the house, friends, food. We got a TV set up. Picks coming in, 67, 68, 69, 70. Third round come, nothing. And, bro, I ain't gonna lie. That was a hard moment. Like, I ain't gonna lie. But, man, I pulled myself together. I told everybody, I said, I appreciate y'all for coming. Thank y'all for coming. My name didn't get called tonight, but we still got another day. And I ain't gonna lie, that moment taught me so much about what life is. Like, I draw back on that all the time. It's like, man, you had set this great expectation. Not only did your 3 best friends get drafted in the first round, and you supposed to be a part of that same group, the next day you don't get drafted on that day. Then you come back 4 through 7 and get drafted. It's like, man, like I had every reason in the world to like be pouting, to be upset. But man, when I really sat back and thought about it, I'm like, man, I'm a kid from Pavo, Georgia. nobody in my family ever played professional sports. Like, regardless of when I get called, even if I don't get drafted today, like whether it's undrafted or whatever, man, I've done something and I show people that I can do something from a place that it doesn't always happen. And it just reminded me, hey, like, regardless of where you start, man, be grateful that you even got an opportunity. So, like, did I have reason to be upset? Yeah. Maybe was I? Yeah. But, man, like, when I just sat back and thought about what was really happening at the time, I was like, man, you know what? Let me be grateful for this opportunity because I didn't have to get it. The Lord didn't have to give me these gifts to even be in this position. So let me be grateful for, like, what I got right now. Because all people going to remember is, like, how you finished, not really how you started. So
you could have been just walking around with one pet
you hear me?
Making no money.
Right.
So you made, like, so you roll in, like, rookie year.
Yeah.
What's a fourth round? I mean, gosh, you're comparing your buddies some first round money. What is a fourth round guy making?
It's still good money.
Is
like,
it?
Yeah, like considering everything at hand, it's still good money. Of course, it's not first round money, but man, like it changed my life. You know what I'm saying? So, I always appreciated that, man. Maybe this check isn't like, hey, everybody's life changes that's around me, but my life changed.
Yeah,
you know.
When you get, like, do they send you like a physical check? Is it direct deposit? Like, everybody wants to know, like, what's it look like?
Yeah, it's direct deposit.
So you like check your account and you're like, holy cow. You know, this is before
literally.
NIL, so like you weren't getting these big direct deposits.
Yeah, I remember where I was when I first seen the zeros in my account. I had got to the facility, the Lions facility, early, like 5:30, 6 o'clock. I had just signed my contract maybe the day before. And I think my financial advisor hit me up and called me, or maybe my agent, I can't remember clearly. But he was like, hey, you should be getting some in your account soon. All the paperwork just been filed. And, man, I think I was using the restroom. When he called me, I know this, it's a little visual, y'all. Excuse me. I was using the restroom. And I said, let me look real quick. And I seen those numbers in my account. I said, Lord, you have been good to me. No, but man, that was a moment for sure. Like, regardless of where you go or how much you get, like, you always remember that first time that direct deposit hit.
What'd you do with the first check?
To be honest, put it in a savings account. I think I put some in the stock market. The first big purchase I made, took myself on a nice trip. Yeah.
What was when we talk about money, I found like our view of money is informed by like real early experiences.
Yeah.
Do you remember growing up or later, like, what was the first person that talked to you about money and like what to do with it, whether it was positive or negative?
Yeah, I mean, really the only clear memory I can have like early is I can remember going to the bank with my dad on Saturday morning sometimes. He would go drop off his check or go pay a bill or something from his bank account at the credit. We had a credit union at this time where I was from. That was one of the earliest. I can remember one of my older cousins giving me a book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, that really helped me out a lot. And I read that book in like early high school, so like 9th, 10th grade. So shout out to my cousin Trey. He put me on. So I read that book early. So like I'm so glad I just had, even though I didn't remember everything from the book, like the one thing that always stuck with me is like assets over liabilities. And so that always gave me a framework of like, hey, what's an asset? What's a liability? So even though I may not have the most extensive education about money early on in my career, I knew what an asset was and I knew what a liability was. And I knew that the lifestyle in the industry that I was in really glorified the liabilities. So I said, hey, I read about that. I've asked questions about these things. I'm going to try to stay away from as much of these as I can. Now, I'm still a kid at this time, so, like, of course, I'm going to make some dumb purchases, do some dumb things. But, like, if I can just not make the big mistakes, then I think I'll be a lot further along than other guys in my position.
What was the dumb purchase?
The dumb purchase. Oh my gosh. I think the worst one is like when I first got some money, went to Miami and just had a blast with some of my friends. Went to the mall. Had never worn any type of designer clothes in my life, but went to the mall and just acted a fool just because I could. It's not like I even wanted any of this stuff, and like I couldn't tell you where that stuff is now. Like, and it's like, man, thank you for maturity, God. Just thank you.
It's cool that your dad took you to the bank because you said the first thing you did was like put a bunch in savings because you were watching your dad, deposit that check, so you're just like, whether you realize it or not, you're just mirroring that. Like, well, we need to save, right? Yeah. We'll invest a little bit.
Yeah.
You told me you invested in some real estate funds.
Yeah.
So when did you do that? What does that look like? Because I think a lot of athletes, they don't have what you got at Clemson, which is relationships with great operators, the opportunity to invest in the fund, even to understand it. What was that like?
Yeah, man, that was monumental, like, for my entire life. Man, first of all, Clemson does a great job of putting the athletes in a position to learn things outside of athletics. So, like, what is real estate? What does it look like for me to be a businessman? What does it look like for me to be a CEO? A CEO or whatever that looks like. Can I go get experience when we have free time? Can you put people around me that will mentor me and that will teach me how to fish and not just give me fish? Clemson did a great, phenomenal job of that. And I want to say it was my senior year or junior year, I got connected to my mentor, who I won't name, but he knows who he is if he sees this. I love him to death. Man, he was so gracious to me. He showed me so much love, and just for the common fact of that, we both had the Paul in common, and then the relationship grew from there. Clemson taught us how to build relationships outside of just being a football player. Like, people want to know, hey, who is this guy outside of the helmet, outside of the jersey? And man, I'm blessed. I'm fortunate that the Lord aligned it so that my mentor and myself met and we grew a relationship. And man, I'm just so grateful because, like, I never asked him for anything but like knowledge and wisdom. But yet he brought something much more to me. Like, and it's just, anytime I think about our relationship, I'm mind blown because I'm like, I never asked him for anything, but he was so gracious and pulled back the veil for me,
So tell us about the fun, but before that, you talk about relationships. It's interesting because a lot of pro football players, they have open doors, but they don't know how to build relationships.
Right.
They don't know the right relationships to build.
Right.
So that was training you something that like will carry on forever, which is like how to build relationships with people that you can learn from, work with sometimes. It's incredible. So real estate fund, like how do you invest in a real estate fund? What is that?
Yeah, great question. So for me at this time, a real estate fund was, hey, we're building these industrial warehouses. It's either going to be a triple net lease or either the business is going to come in and buy all the real estate from us. Best case scenario, guys. Anytime you get bought out, please. But man, it was a fund that was going to span 7 years, capital calls. So it wasn't like I had to front everything right up front. It was like, as projects come, then you write a check. Then, months later, maybe a year later, you'll see a return. And that's what it was for me. It was very easy, very simple, but I got to see all the investor reports. I got to see everything that was going on with each project. I was updated. So like, most people would not look at that stuff, but I'm like, man, let me dive into this because I got a firsthand like example of what it looks like to really do real estate from an intricate level. Like, what does the underwriting look like? It's not just going out, seeing something online and buying it, just thinking I can make money. It's like, man, have you underwritten this thing? Like, what is that actually gonna look like? What does the loan look like?
Some of these guys don't know what underwriting means.
Yeah, the most important thing, guys. Trust me.
What?
The most important.
Tell them like in the simplest way possible. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah. So underwriting is, for instance, I might have a piece of land that's $100,000, and you may think like, hey, I can build a $500,000 asset on this property. Well, you're just guessing. So until you actually take the numbers, see how much construction costs, see what the ARV is going to be, see what the market says you can sell, see what the consumers actually can buy, you really have no deal. You have no tangible anything to work off of. And it's very hard to work with investors without having something tangible where they know, like, hey, if I put this in, this is how much I should be expecting to make. Now, we all know investing is at your own risk, but you have to underwrite it, because even if you mess over your investor and it doesn't go well, even just from your perspective, working with lenders aren't going to want to work with you if they don't know the numbers. You can't get a loan if you don't know your numbers. So underwriting is the most important part of real estate.
That's right. It literally is just saying, here's the deal, here's the plan, here are our projections based on our comps, right? And here's our projected return, best case, worst case, you know?
Yeah.
And like a lot of guys, they know a guy, hey, it's going to be a great deal, and they throw him money, and they never look at the numbers, right? So I tell guys, like, hey, don't put $1 million in your first deal, right? Do you remember like how much you put in your first deal?
I do. So that first fund, I committed actually $750,000. So
just put in 750, man. Don't put in.
Yeah. So I committed a lot, especially for the fact that I was just beginning my first contract. I knew I had a good opportunity to stay there at least those first 4 years. I knew what my cash flow was going to look like. So I wasn't particularly nervous about committing that much money, because over the 7 years of the span, real estate people know how this works. If it's capital calls, I'm writing smaller checks. A project's being built, it's being sold, you're getting a return on that money. So even though 750 sounds like a big number in a fund like that, you really would only see half out at the most, even that, if that, at a time.
What you're saying is they say, hey, here's the fund, here's your initial commitment. So maybe it's, I'm going to send them 350.
Yeah.
And then when they have another, aspect of the deal or another building they're buying, they're saying, hey, Austin, capital call, and you're going to send them another 50 or 100 or maybe the next 350.
Exactly.
And you had a relationship with these guys that ran that fund.
For sure.
You had seen their track record,
For
right?
sure. Yeah.
So do you remember when you put 750 in, do you remember how well you did on it?
I can give you one example. So I committed 750, and I'll say this, during the time of COVID, unfortunately, e-commerce was just crazy. So Amazons, Walmarts, Targets, man, they needed places to put their product because they had to get to people quicker. I'll say one check I wrote, I put in, I think I got, for every dollar I sent out, I made 2.5 on it. So that just gives you an idea.
Yeah, when you guys are looking at underwriting, that's a 2.5 multiple, right?
Yeah.
So that's incredible.
Yeah, that don't come around often.
No, and usually that takes, the full term, that's going to take 7 years to get that multiple.
Yeah.
You invested in the right asset class at the right time.
Yeah.
With the right team.
Yeah.
Worked out pretty well.
And I have to say this, because I think guys get misconceived notions about investing in different industries. It's like, man, if you take anything from my story, don't look at this and think that I was just some genius real estate guru. Like, I wasn't. Like, I met the right people. I invested in the people more so than I did the product. And a lot of times in investing, real estate, business, or whatever it is, if it's not something you're actively putting together or working on, you're investing in the people. And that says something too for any GPs out there. Like, you have to be an impeccable person, because real investors invest in people, not in the actual product.
I think a good way for like guys that are playing to think about it is when you go back to college and you're getting to choose like who you're going to play for. NFL, you don't get to choose. And you get to know these coaches, right?
Yeah.
You're betting on like this guy.
Yeah.
Now they're maybe just taking NIL money. But in general, you're like, this guy's going to develop me. I can trust him. He has a track. Like Dabo was just getting going, but you could tell he had the ingredients to be great, to make you great. and you're basically like, all right, I'm
in.
Yeah, I'm investing in the guy. And obviously Clemson played a big part in it. So the things around it, right? But it's like you're investing in a guy.
No, you're exactly right. Like, just like you said, Clemson wasn't a national championship contender when I went. But man, the people that were there, it's like, man, I can put my time, my energy, my effort into this place, not because of the product that they already have, but man, because of the people that they got here. I know something special is cooking.
You know what that is too? That's wisdom.
Wisdom, yeah.
Right? Because you like inherently were like, I can trust this person, this organization, right?
Yeah.
And so what's the difference between you doing a great deal, first deal, and other guys maybe you've heard of that like it just completely went gone? Like why did it play out well for you, and then the guys that didn't go well, what was the difference?
Oh, man, that's a big question. And I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I can't take any of the credit. Like, I got to say it was the people, the right people at the right time.
Did you ever have any deals where like the wrong people came to you asking for money and you like?
Oh yeah,
no?
for sure. I've definitely written some checks that I haven't seen a return on yet. So if you're gonna get into investing, like you're gonna lose money sometimes. Like there's just you try to avoid that. You know, my mentor always told me like, hey, I'm always trying to hit a single. I'm never really trying to hit the home run or a triple. He was like, hey, if you hit a double or a triple every now and then, phenomenal. But man, single. Even if you got to bun it sometimes, bun it. Because those add up. Those are points.
And that's the thing. I think it's like a principle of wisdom. Like, is this the right deal, the right group? If they're promising you a grand slam,
yeah,
like,
run.
Dude, go the other way.
Run.
As fast as possible.
Run. Yeah.
So you're playing ball, making pretty good investments.
Yeah.
When did you start to think like, okay, this not for long thing is real? I don't know how much I got left. When did that happen?
Man, being honest, I'm not sure you ever see that until it's staring you in the face. Cause you're young. I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm invincible. I'm a superhero right now. So you never actually think
you're a Power Ranger.
I'm a Power Ranger. It's morphin' time. You never really think it's ever gonna be over. You think, hey, I'm going to it. My goal was, hey, I want to play 12 years. Like that's my goal. I think my body can hold up 12 years. I have the talent. I can play 12 years. But man, there's so many unknown variables that goes into an NFL career. What system you go into? Do the coaches like you? Do the system like you? Do you have a coach get fired? Are you at the right team? Did you make the right plays at the right time? Did you show up when you should have? Like, it's so many different factors. Is
there a practice facility next to a power plant?
Right. Look, don't bring that up. You're going to have all the Niners fans asking me about that. Which I did have a hamstring.
What happened? You went to San Francisco.
Right, and I got hurt. Tore my hamstring. And that's kind of when my moment was. I was like, hey, like, shoot, it might be over. Because I already knew going into my last year at San Francisco, like, I was fighting, scraping for whatever I could get. And so I was really banking on that preseason, really banking on that season, and I got hurt and I found out to what extent, and it was just like, it could be over. Because, like, film is huge in the league. Like, you got to have recent film. And I knew I didn't really have recent film because the year before, I was only active for, maybe 2 or 3 games. The other games I was on the practice squad. So film was very limited. So, man, it was staring me in the face. And I was fighting. I rehabbed for like 8 months. Had a workout here and there. But nothing really came to fruition, man. And during this time, bro, I just felt like the Lord was pulling me in a different direction, like closing a door. If that makes sense. And man, I probably say it was really probably about 4 months ago, I officially said, hey, like, I'm walking away. Like, I think the Lord is closing this door. I'm walking away. I'm good. I'm ready to start the next part of my life.
Do you start thinking about, like, when there's no check, big or small, coming in.
Yeah.
Like, what are you thinking about financially when you're making that decision?
Yeah, it's scary because you used to seeing these big checks come in every
Sitting
week.
in the bathroom just watching the zeros.
You know what I'm saying? Like every Thursday, I know like, hey, it's another 60, 70 grand in the account every Thursday. But man, when you get done, those checks slow down. So then it forced me to be in a position of like, okay, I'm fine right now. Like I'm not worried about like where my food coming from tomorrow. But like at some point, there's this thing called burn rate, and it's a real statistics that you have to think about. It's like, okay, I have these investments that are doing well, but man, it's time for me to get on the GP side. And so that's what kind of transitioned me into real estate.
How'd that happen?
Man, great question. Man, I met, here again, relationships, met some great people at the right time who were willing to teach me the game from the inside out and let me to be up close and personal. And man, I partnered with them guys, started doing projects, and man, it's been awesome. Like they've completely pulled the veil back. Man, they work with athletes, teaching them kind of like in a mentorship role. And man, I just kept showing up to the office, kept showing up, asking questions, learning. I'm like, okay, I think I get this. I'm ready to jump in. So like now at this point, I'm in 3 deals right now, building a 5-unit down in Mississippi, a luxury house here in Brentwood. We have another project, single family home in downtown Nashville. So man, I'm kind of like you. I jumped in the deep end.
I mean, not everybody makes that leap so fast. Like most guys are trying to figure it out, but it's interesting how God set you up.
Yeah.
You get Rich Dad Poor Dad, talking about assets.
Yeah.
You get a mentor at Clemson who's a great real estate operator, investor.
Yeah.
You make a few deals, investments.
Yep.
And then you meet the right guys.
Yeah. Literally, I really can't take credit for none of that except just showing up.
Why would guys not show up?
Why would you not show up?
No, really.
That was one of the biggest things. Like, I realized, like, man, guys just won't show up for this stuff outside of football. And it really goes to show how much, like, man, you just been conditioned to just be ball. If it has nothing to do with ball, we're not interested. But man, that is such the wrong mindset to have, because regardless if you play 6 years like I did or you play 12 years like some of the best do, at some point the ball is going to stop bouncing. The ball going to get flat on you. And then it's real life. And it's like, man, the guys that I see struggle is guys who haven't taken the time to build relationships outside of the field, outside of the sport. And all it takes is a little time. When you in the league or you playing college ball, your name is hot. People want to be around you. It's so much easier to build relationships when people want to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? It's so much harder to build relationships when nobody even cares.
I mean, now you're in Nashville. You're not in South Carolina.
Yeah.
So, like, people meet you. They don't know.
They don't know. And I don't particularly lead with that. But it's like, man, if you just take the time to build your character and just be genuinely interested and curious about people, I think people feel that. And I'm a big guy, so eventually the conversation is like, hey, did you ever da-da-da? And it's like, okay, yeah. And then we get into the conversation. But, man, speaking to the guys who are still playing, man, take advantage of the shield that you're wearing in college football. Leverage your name, image, and likeness outside of just getting a check from a school. Like, leverage it in the business world. Leverage it in networking. Leverage it in building relationships, because, like, you're only going as far as the next relationship you build.
All right, so, like, getting, like, practical, because you gotta, if you're gonna be the best, you gotta focus on ball.
Yeah.
You talked about, Venable's intensity.
Yeah.
So, like, what's a simple way to do that where they're like, I'm all ball, but I'm still making a little bit of time to show up to build a relationship? Like, what could that look like if you're?
Man, I would say just take the time. Go to one networking event a month. Like, pick up the phone and call one person a month who works in the industry that you would be interested in outside of football. It takes very little effort. I think as athletes, we make excuses when it comes to things that are outside of the sport, right? We find time to go out after that win on Saturday night or Sunday night. Like, you find time to go out to that restaurant in the middle of the week. It's like, man, take a little time and make an investment into your life post-sport, because it takes very little effort. It really does. Like, you don't have to eat the whole elephant at once. Like, just take one bite, as my old ball coach would say.
Take one bite.
Take one
like,
bite.
Make one call. Like, when you know, it's amazing with that badge. Like, you could call the most successful alumni at your school.
Yep.
You could probably call the most successful people in the city where you're playing pro ball.
Yep.
And they will actually answer and be surprised, because there's this divide where, like, you know, the business guys want to know the athletes. The athletes want to know them. They're both kind of intimidated by each other.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
So what happens, and then we'll pivot, when you pick up the phone, you know, and you have that badge and you call that guy, what do you find happens? Is it like, why are you calling me?
No. A lot of times I find it that it's like, man, the person who is outside of the sport is like a kid in a candy store on like whatever day it is. Like, a kid in the candy store is like, man, like at heart, everybody can relate to sport. So, like, you being an athlete, and they're a high performer too. So they understand what it takes for you and your industry to be where you are right now. And I think there's really a mutual respect.
For sure.
Because it's like, man, it's not easy to be the top dog in real estate, and man, it's not easy to be an NFL player. Like, those are very two hard things to do. And more than just the platform, the journey that it takes to get there. I think is very similar. Of course, some people start out with maybe a little bit of a head start, but man, for the most part, a lot of people just grind their way to where they are.
Yeah, some people are born to be like 6'4", 250.
Yeah.
Some people are born and their parents they come from a lot of money.
Yeah.
But most people are in between.
Yeah.
And so there is a mutual respect. All right, let's end on, we talked about influences in your life. Let's talk about your dad. Yeah. Who was he to you growing up?
Yeah, man, my dad, phenomenal. Shout out to Dad, man. You know who he is. Come on, shout out Dad. Now, my dad is phenomenal, man. And I'll just get a little personal here. My biological father, I didn't grow up with, and he passed away when I was 18. God rest his soul. No ill feelings toward him at all, man. But my dad, who raised me, Michael Campbell, man, he's the best. Like, I wouldn't be sitting here across from you if it wasn't for him. Because I can look around at some of the kids that I grew up with, some of the guys that I played with, and they didn't have a strong male influence in the home. And, man, that makes a difference. Like, that makes such a big difference. Like, the discipline, the authority. Sometimes you need to be hard on sons. Like, that's just how boys are. And, man, I'm so grateful now that he was hard on me. I'm so grateful now that, man, he taught me the lessons that have carried me so far into life, just being about my business, being a man, like, taking responsibility when you're wrong. Like, man, he taught me so much. I was just talking about mom the other night, like, taught me how to tie a tie. Like, and he's still doing it for kids back home now. So, man, shout out to my dad, man. I wouldn't be sitting here across from you if it wasn't for him.
So many people, they're on this great journey. Mm-hmm. And then there's this like one thing they can't move on from, right? Mm-hmm. There's literally guys that are like, yeah, my dad, wasn't there.
Yeah.
And they even had the Michael Campbell, mm-hmm. but they weren't able to like receive that love because they're still stuck on like somebody that left.
Right.
Like how did that happen for you? Like, how did you just receive so well the great life God gave you mm-hmm. and the great father he gave you instead of focusing on somebody else that wasn't there?
Man, great question. I mean, I was like you said earlier when I seen him go to the bank. Like, you don't know you taking in all these things, but I seen how he cared for my mom. My mom was everything to me, still is. Like, that's my girl, love her to death. So I seen how he cared for my mom. I seen how he cared for me, and I wasn't his biological son per se. And it takes a strong man to do that. And, man, to just watch him day after day show up, take me to practice, take me to games, tournaments for 10, 12, 15, 16, 20 years, to be at every college game, to be at every ACC championship, to be at every national championship. like just a steady force, like steady showing up. It was so easy to receive the work that he was putting in. Like I seen it, like it was just day after day. You know, he would go to work 6 a.m., come home 5, tired, but still like, hey son, how's your day? I love you. Like still be there, still be present. And man, like in regards to my biological father who passed away, man, a lot of guys do struggle with their biological father maybe not being there or leaving them. And I would be a liar if I sat here and said that for a portion of my young life I was mad or didn't understand, because I was. But man, I think when he passed away, even though I didn't have a relationship with him, I had a decision to make. It's like either I'm gonna be bitter that he wasn't there, or I gotta realize like, hey, just like I have flaws, man, he had flaws. I don't know what his situation was growing up. I don't know why, he chose not to be there. Was his dad there for him? Like, was his dad's dad there for him? Like, has he ever seen it? And so that's why I think it's so important, man, like forgive and forget. Like I was mad for a time, but man, I had to forgive and forget because at the end of the day, it wasn't hurting him. It was hurting me. So
here's my takeaways.
Yeah.
Bringing it back to your dad. He showed up.
Yeah.
And you talked about what's the most important thing when it comes to like life, showing up.
Yeah.
Right. He taught you like, hey, the first thing you do, put it in a safe place. And you said, as long as you don't blow it, you're going to be all right.
Yeah.
Right. And then 2, your ability to see the right relationships, go get them or even let them into your life. Just to be able to see that, like you had a model for it, and then you just modeled it yourself. You're like, I know what the right relationships look like.
Yeah.
And so if you don't, go find one right relationship, let go of the ones that weren't.
Yeah.
And then just copy and paste, man.
Copy and paste. That's right. That's right, man. And I will also say to guys, man, just don't be predatory in trying to seek out people that can help you. Like, don't be transactional. Every relationship that I built that helped me get to this point, like, did I seek out the relationship? Yes. But I genuinely said, hey, let me just be a good person. Let me be the person that my mother and my father raised me to be. Like, let me just do that. And if something's supposed to come about from that, it will. Like, you don't have to go out and, like, like, just try to, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to recruit
know what it
people
is?
to help you.
Here's the simple, like, parallel. When you go to, like, pick your school now in college, there's a lot of money being thrown out. And there's some guys that are going there straight up, NIL deal, what's the number?
Right.
You're saying don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy.
Like, go find the right school, the right guys.
Yeah.
And the money will follow.
The money will follow.
It's everything in life.
Money follows value. Like, be the most valuable person you can for them. And then, man, if it's meant to be, they'll be valuable to you.
Yeah, you're getting a bigger deal. Yeah. Second contract, second NIL deal.
For sure.
I love it, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate you, Scott. It's been great.